everybody. Welcome to OneMore with Danny Coleman. I'm Danny Coleman. It's Monday night. We are live from Monmouth Music right here in beautiful downtown Red Bank, New Jersey. Thanks to Mario DiBartolo for having us here every week, as I always say. And OneMore with Danny Coleman is sponsored by Monmouth Music, as well as Antoinette Boulangerie, located 2 doors down right here at 32 Monmouth Street in Red Bank, as well as Mr. Pizza Slice. Mr. Pizza Slice, also a Red Bank institution, and they are right down the road here on Monmouth Street as well. So I want to thank them for the pregame meal of pizzas and Antoinette's for the dessert, which you guys are welcome to dive into that anytime you want. Go ahead. Go for it. Go for it. Patisserie. The pool boy is going for it. See what happened? Diving in. I kind of set him off there. If there's anything that you would like us to cover here on One More with Danny Coleman, or anything that you would like us to perhaps delve into, please email me, dcoleman.drice, D-R-I-C-E, dcoleman.drice@gmail.com, and we'll see what we can do for you. If you can't get through to me, try driceproductions@gmail.com, and our producer, director, CEO, owner of Carousel Arts, Matt, will take good care of you, hopefully. Right? Hopefully.
Yeah.
We can only hope. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Our very special guests this evening with a unique name, I must say. And we're going to get to that as soon as we introduce them. You are
Tyler Bowman.
And you are
Zach Lander.
And you are
Joe Ruff.
Ben Lander.
I knew you guys were.
Yeah, we split up the brothers. Fool you guys, yeah.
And I'm Danny Coleman, and this is the Afraid Brigade. Yeah. Okay, Afraid Brigade.
Yep.
I'm just going to get right into it, man. Who came up with the name and why?
Ask him what it was before.
Man, they pointed it too quick.
When I was 6 years old, I had the lead role in a church play called the Don't Be Afraid Brigade. So I was ready to start my own. When this band was taking place, that name was really speaking to me in a way, so I just shortened it.
Don't Be Afraid Brigade. Was that like about eating like vegetables or something, or is that accepting?
It was a Christmas play. It was about the I think it was the angels who appear to the wise men first and say and tell them that Jesus is born. And they say, "Don't be afraid. The front to you this day, whatever, a Savior is born." So. It was a team of angels that went around telling people not to be afraid, I think was the general.
So they were the brigade that
told
people not to be afraid.
So we're the brigade that tells people to be afraid.
Very,
very afraid.
I took some creative liberties. And
nice.
Put a twist
and what
on
was
it.
your role in this play? Do you recall?
Yeah, I was the lead angel.
Whoa.
I was Gabriel, I believe.
Archangel,
what?
as they say.
I believe.
You were Peter Gabriel. Man.
Yeah.
Check that out. Nice. Nice. Okay, so the Afraid Brigade. And now, what do you guys consider your base of operations?
What does that mean?
A basement in
Woodbridge.
A basement in Woodbridge, New Jersey.
We practice the
Bat Cave,
HQ?
yeah.
HQ.
The HQ,
I
as we
have
call
never
it.
had anybody ask me.
What is
I
that?
say not so smart things sometimes.
That's okay.
Me and him are brothers, and our house is kind of the practice room.
Okay.
And our latest EP was recorded mostly in my bedroom.
Yeah. It's a nice bedroom.
Aside from like studio stuff where we did drums, but we kind of live in the basement, at least like the band.
All right. Who is a drummer?
Me.
You are. I'm a drummer.
Oh really?
Yeah.
No.
So there's like
Awesome.
some
Now we
astral
got
plane
some-
we can connect.
Yeah. We got a bond thing.
No kidding. All right. So it always helps to practice at the drummer's house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, by default, I think that's the way it's
Yeah, half of the band lives at the house.
Yeah, I live upstairs, so it's probably the most convenient location for me.
Let me tell you, the first question I ask whenever I get called to do a gig, is there backline? Do I need just like cymbals and a kick pedal? What do I need to bring?
I don't like doing that
I want
stuff.
to
He likes to bring his own set.
Yeah, because it's like a lot of people, like a lot of times they don't take care of those things. Like it's really like it's used and abused. Like some people like do take care of like this stuff, but a lot of the times it's like you're playing on hand-me-down stuff that somebody hobbled together, and it's like all mismatched pieces, and it's like not easy to play
See,
on like stuff like that sometimes.
When I was young and physically fit like you, instead of the specimen you see before you now, I used to throw my kit in the car, and then if it was backlined and it was acceptable, I would take it.
Yeah, I usually always bring like more than I need.
But now, for me, it's just like, is it backlined? Because I really don't want to lift these things.
That's what I say every single show.
There's
I'm
days where we always have those days that where
Yeah.
you just don't
I'm
care.
just like, hey, why do I play the drums? So like when I come back in the next life, I'm just gonna play guitar or something.
There you go. That's why my son was 10. And my drum kit was set up in the basement. And he says, Dad, will you teach me how to play the drums? I looked him dead in the face. I said, no. He says, no, why not? I said, I have 2 words for you. Play harmonica. You get a case about this big, maybe another one with a microphone, and you walk in.
Yeah.
Well, that's like
In and out.
I got started playing drums because our dad played ever since like I can remember. Like he played the drums, so I was
Father's
always
a
kind
drummer.
of
Yeah,
Right.
that's
so I was
right.
always kind of around it. And like there's pictures he has of me as like a toddler sitting behind his little drums. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, now,
I do the guitar and the piano and some of the backing vocals and what else?
All of it.
everything.
Every time we-
every bit of instrumentation that's not like the guitars too. Like Tyler wrote the parts first, like on MIDI, and then we got extra people to play them on the record, like Brian Lawrence and Alexander, and play trombone and violin. But Tyler writes most of the music in the band.
I also
Yeah.
do. I'm responsible for a lot of the horse noises and things that you hear.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah,
No, honestly,
animal
like
the
noises.
trumpets with my mouth.
And probably like solid 45% of the sex appeal of the band too. So you got to bring it down.
he's
to
the
that.
pool boy.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you at home who might be perplexed, before we went on the air, I said, I know you. Why do I know you? He said, I'm a pool guy. You know, do you have a pool? Well, I used to.
He also teaches music though, so
Do you?
Yeah.
You left that part out.
it's not
Yeah, but
all pools all the
I've
time.
been doing it for like 5 years, and it's just like, it just gets annoying. It's like,
And Tyler,
Little
he
too
like
much.
teaches us stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Like he's like anytime we have like a problem, like we're stuck writing something and it's not working, it's like we gotta call Tyler. Like someone like he's the one. He's like our little like go-to magical music boy. Like he really is like. He's honestly such a goofball, but he's like probably like one of the smartest musicians I've ever met.
Okay. And what is your role in this conglomeration? Besides lead angel Gabriel.
Yeah, Angel Gabriel. I write the lyrics and like a rough skeleton of the songs before we like. So like all the songs so far we've done, I come up with like an acoustic demo or a very basic idea with like melodies and chords, and then everything changes. But I have that first idea and I play all the guitar parts that aren't difficult.
So it's pretty much like a band democracy then. You guys all kind of collaborate and
Yeah.
Yeah.
put it together.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think we would ever let anything out if it wasn't something that we were all 4 of us were
and
happy
if it
with.
wasn't
Yeah.
run by
Yeah.
everyone
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
And your role, sir?
Oh, I play the bass.
I figured.
Yeah.
You're the only one left.
Yeah. 2 Lander boys holding it down for the rhythm section.
I see.
I always
Two
forget
drummers
that.
and no bass.
Yeah.
Wow. You play drums also?
No. Oh no.
You
thought
thought
I-
maybe you played the,
No, he's like the
I was
worst
kicked
drummer.
out of the drum set pretty early on by my older brother here.
Do you know how many guitarists come through the doors of this program and my radio program and they say to me, well, I started out on the drums, but I switched to guitar. You know, for some
I
reason.
did that. I play guitar too, but I just did that as something to do while it was nighttime and it's quiet, and so like you don't kill everybody's ears. Like,
What do you think it is about all of us drummers who we played the drums for a while and it's like, you know what, I think I want to play the guitar because I've got 2 acoustic guitars
Honestly,
at home that I
I
used
think-
to play and
Neil Peart like said something like that. Like it's like you're always like striving to like explore for something different and new. Because like drums is like there's so many different things you can like learn on that, but then you kind of get like stuck. It's just you're at the end of the day you're just hitting things, so you kind of want to do something else. Like it's just to understand how like other music works. Yeah.
well, actually, there was a fusion jazz guitar player who just passed away back at the beginning of the year, named Larry Coryell, considered the father of jazz fusion guitar, you know. And he said to me one time, he says, you know, as a musician, if if you are not listening to what your other bandmates are doing and trying to make it your own, then you're doing yourself a huge injustice. So what he would do is, like, when the sax player or the trumpet player in these jazz bands that he was in would take a ride, he would listen to it. And then when it came time for his guitar solo, he would try to do somewhat similar, if not the same exact ride, but on the guitar. And he said, it's like I had this never-ending wealth of solos coming at me, all because I listened to my bandmates.
That was kind of like a lot what happened with the
we had to
Die
like,
Alone thing.
yeah, we had to really like listen to it and see how everything worked with the whole mix.
Oh yeah, with everything. Like none of this is like. I don't think any of this is the music we would be making if like we weren't in a band with everybody. Like, I wouldn't have like I wasn't writing stuff with, like, huge guitar solos until I was playing with Tyler, because then it was like, oh, obviously
we got to do something with guitar solos.
Yeah, like
So how did you
that's
guys...
what he's good at.
Well, how did you form? How did you... Well, I know how you two must have met. But
Back in 2012-ish, I was in a band called Pigeons
was across the
with my
street.
friend Nick, and Nick lived across the street from Tyler. And then, so we started playing with Tyler, and we had another member, Mark, and then Mark left the band, and we got Ben, and then Nick left the band, and we got Zach. But somewhere in between, before we got Zach, we changed our name to the Afraid Brigade, and then really this, like, so if you listen to the first record, it's all Nick playing drums. And the new EP we just put out is Zach's first work with the group.
how many tracks is the first record?
9.
No, okay, so it's full length. What's its title?
No, it's not.
It's just self-titled. The
Self-titled,
Afraid
The
Brigade.
Afraid
Yeah.
Brigade? Hey, do you guys have websites or anything?
Yeah.
Let's
The
get that out there.
Afraid
TheAfraidBrigade.com.
There you go.
You can find links to all the stuff. We're iTunes,
Facebook.
Spotify,
Facebook,
all
Facebook,
Afraid
Instagram.
Yeah.
We didn't
Yeah.
have to fight for that domain either.
Yeah.
It was
Surprisingly.
available.
It's just
Really?
hard to pronounce
If
sometimes.
you look up The Afraid
That's
Brigade on
like-
YouTube, it's basically us, and you'll see some like
Don't
home
Be
movie
Afraid Brigade.
recordings of the Don't Be
Yeah.
Afraid Brigade.
You know, it's funny, when I sat down here before we went on air, and we were all sitting this way, and now you come on air and you mention, the Archangel, Gabriel, Angel Gabriel there. I instantly was reminded, Nash, of the Gilbert Gottfried quote. How come everybody's sitting on the same side of the table during the Last Supper?
Obviously, so they can
We're
get
all
that
sitting
picture.
on the same side of the table.
They're watching sports. That's
I fully expect every one of you to betray me at some point.
Yeah,
What's
obviously
that?
they were doing a podcast.
Yeah, right.
That would be so
the
funny.
podcast on the mount. Yeah.
Yeah, you spilled my water. Don't worry. So you've got a full length. How many songs is this EP?
5 technically. There's an intro, so 5 with an intro.
So 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you go that route this time?
Just because the first record took us 2
Apparently they
years.
find that humorous.
The first record
Okay.
took us 2 years to do. This one took us like a year and a half. Like it was just time.
It
Like,
was
we
a,
just-
it was a long way coming. Like some of these songs we were sitting on, like granted when we like first wrote them, they were pretty much like all there, but like we were always just kind of pushing it. Like how can this be better? How can this be better? Like how can we make every single part?
I was gonna say,
better?
why so long? Was your bedroom booked? I mean, what?
Oh yeah.
No, there's a lot of days where Joe came over and a lot of times we just laid in
Not
he
together.
laid in my bed and like we would just listen to mixes over and over and work on stuff. Like everything we put in this record is like for a reason.
a lot of it also just has to do with the fact that we're incredibly picky people.
Yeah.
There's not a track on there that wasn't done 6 times. That wasn't like
Yeah, if we listen to like we have some of like the first demos when we wrote it, and it's so funny to hear how the songs were first written.
yeah.
I was in a band back from 2005 to 2008. Okay.
What year was
All we wanted to do, you guys weren't even born then. All we wanted to do was lay down 3 songs so that we could give it to clubs and get some work.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
We decided to make it all original material because the guy's original material was actually pretty good. So we decided to make it original material. We go into a studio, a local studio in our area. We laid down 4 tracks. We get them done in 2 nights, literally like 3 hours each night. Boom, 4 tracks done. Now all we have to do is put in vocals and whatever extra things we want to do. Do you know that EP is still not finished? And
I believe it.
we split up in 2008. So,
That's probably how our next record is going to be.
but let me tell you why. Because the guy who wrote the tunes, how did you say it? Picky.
Yeah.
Okay, he was incredibly picky. So every time he listened to a replay, I don't want that. I want to bring this up here. Dude, we just want to get work. It sounds fantastic. You know what? If we want to do that, we can always remix it. John will hang on to this for us. Trust me. You know, if we want to publish it, we just need some demo discs.
Yeah.
You know, we needed like a dozen discs because there was like 10 clubs in the area. Here, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. We just wanted to make sure it was like, because we did it like pretty like all of it ourselves, except for the drums. We did a little give a shout out to Blue Light Studios in
Blue Light Digital Sound.
Blue Light Digital Sound in Mount
Holly.
Mount Holly.
Holly.
Josh
South.
Stark, the engineer,
Josh Stark. He did
phenomenal guy. They did such a great job.
Yeah.
With the drums.
It was a
Who did the mastering?
Adam, I'm gonna butcher his name, but Adam Chichaki.
Chichaki. Kichaki.
It's definitely spelled Chicho.
Not touching that.
But yeah, I think he's Polish. And but Timber Studios is his studio. He works on so many people's stuff. He does Hodera's stuff. I know he does his own band Gatherers. He does all their stuff.
He does great work.
Okay.
He does. He's also a tremendous like force in the local music scene.
Yeah,
Nice.
and then the rest of everything we did ourselves.
Yeah, and the rest of everything.
So that's why we kind of wanted to make it like as best as we could do. Like,
Not to mention like the first record, Tyler did all the mixing for, and he had to learn Pro Tools to do it. And this record, Zach did all the mixing for, so he had to learn Pro Tools for it. So a lot of the time was just like learning how to do Pro Tools. We recorded all the guitars one way and decided we should do it a different way, and then actually went back to the first method with my guitars and just doing
It was a lot of-
But you went in depth with learning that. Like, you figured out some stuff that
I had a
probably
lot
never
of
would've-
time. I had a lot of
I would
time.
hope. Weren't working.
Did you ever like when they all go home and since it's in your bedroom, you ever like just go and say, I think I'll tweak this. They'll never know the difference.
Yeah,
No, it was basically that's exactly what he did for 10 hours.
Because a lot of the
after
time,
we left.
it's like a lot of time-consuming stuff, and I would send them things and I'd be like, "Don't freak out."
I feel like
But-
I feel like I was the one saying, "Can you please do this? Can you please do this?"
Oh,
Can
no,
you
it's-
please do
yeah,
this?" And
every-
you-
every
and
other-
him saying,
every
"It
day."
sounds fine. It sounds fine. It sounds fine."
I was tired of just bouncing versions of the song and sending it to everybody every night, and like by the end of it, I was like, "Can we just finish this so we can get it done?" I didn't want to hear it anymore. I don't think I listened to it.
Well, you know what's funny, quote unquote, back in the day, first time I went to the recording studio, I was 15. 2 big 24-track reel-to-reel analog tapes.
See, that
you
had to
know?
be so cool, though.
And
to be 15 and do
you would
that.
think it was cool. But, today you could just point and click and drag and you can fix that
Oh, yeah.
mistake. If you had a song that was 3 minutes and 49 seconds long, and you screwed up at 3:45, you had to cut the whole track again. You
Yeah.
could easily be in the studio for hours doing one tune.
Yeah.
Even like Metallica, when they did the Black Album, they said they literally, if they wanted to edit things, they literally had to cut and paste
piece
tape
of tape.
together.
Yeah, you had to splice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't even know how. If we had to do this record like
No,
that,
we wouldn't.
Probably
we would-
makes you better musicians. Just
We wouldn't ever leave
having,
the studio.
not having
Yeah.
an easy way
Yeah.
out.
Makes you more tight.
There's no easy way out.
Well, back then it was totally done. You couldn't, a big method today is people turn around and they cut a rhythm track here and then they email it to somebody in
Yeah.
like Nashville.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the guy in Nashville says, okay, I'll put down this lead over top of that and I'll try this, and sends it back.
Yeah.
And, Steve Hackett from Genesis,
Yeah.
right? Steve Hackett, I've been fortunate enough to interview twice.
Oh, wow.
Sweet.
And Steve he said to me, he's like, this latest album that he has is literally done from around the world. There's an Israeli and a Palestinian singing tracks together in a recording studio.
Wow.
There's all kinds of foreign instruments, and there's people from India. And he had it all done, and they recorded it, emailed it to him. He put it all together.
Yeah.
That was like unheard of.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
20
like,
years ago.
We went to the studio, did all the drum tracks, and took the USB thing and went back to my bedroom to like fix everything.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and then you dissected it, right?
Yeah.
So, speaking of dissecting, You guys should dissect some of these pastries.
All right.
Yeah.
If no one
There you go, Tyler. Go for it.
I'm grabbing the
Here,
biggest
There's a
one.
plate underneath there. That's right. Grab him a plate.
Some various
That's it.
Hello.
Pull it out. That's it.
There you go. Here.
That's some
was
good
that
footage right there,
focused?
Tom. That's some good footage.
That should be in like the opening reel of stuff.
That's right. That'll be our next. That'll be our next show opener. Antoinette Boulangerie specializes in creating delicate and sophisticated works of art using only the highest quality ingredients. Are they high ingredients, Tyler?
Oh yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I don't eat like this at home.
That's perfect. Located. You mean with your fingers or with?
No, I mean like I eat like cardboard, tinfoil,
Nice.
some rubber.
Nice. I got a couple fillings that would work great with. Located at 32 Monmouth Street in the heart of downtown Red Bank, they're a fully operational bakery with all of the baking done on premises daily. In addition to the handmade variety of croissants in Danish, Antoinette's offers a dizzying array of traditional French pastries, macaroons, cookies, and savory treats. You can find them at AntoinetteBoulangerie.com, and Boulangerie is spelled Boulangerie. Antoinette Boulangerie, right here in beautiful Red Bank, New Jersey. So, see, you're enjoying them as
You
well.
had me a croissant.
How long before the other two fall?
I don't
won't be
do
long.
sweets. That's my thing. I just don't.
This is the perfect blend of like sweet, so it's only a little sweet. You should try it here.
It really is
I'm
great.
good for now.
Some of those croissants either are stuffed with chocolate
Yeah,
or
chocolate.
Nutella.
like ham and cheese.
Oh,
Oh, like a
pepperoni.
stromboli kind of.
Yeah. What do you have in there?
chocolate.
Chocolate.
I need a napkin.
Oh no, we need a napkin.
Okay.
Napkins. Usually the napkins are right there.
It's called jeans,
I'm
right?
sure one of our
So that's why
That's
we
why we
brought
wear
back-
And be environmentally friendly and not
wipe
waste
that
any
on
paper
your own
at all.
jeans. Yeah, that's right. We're
Joe, come
saving
here.
paper. We're an environmentally friendly thing.
Just
So-
conserving napkins.
So the first disc is self-titled,
Yes.
and the second disc is titled.
If I ever see the stars again.
Okay.
But since it's an EP, you have to put EP after that. I can't. I hate doing that, but you got
Explain.
The title?
Sure.
Yeah.
It was just one of those things that came to me in like a bolt of lightning inspiration.
Drunken
I
stupor.
just love it. Nah.
Doesn't make him a bad person.
Kinda like,
Joe just comes up.
I was there most of the weekend.
nah, I don't know. I got hit with this wave of nostalgia, and I just realized that like, there's the other reason this thing took us so long to do is because like we all have jobs. We've all, trying to draw comic books on top of like doing the music thing and working at a restaurant, and it's really hard to do everything. So every time we do something like this, it really could be the last time, and like you should just try and appreciate that, because it's so easy to get frustrated and to think everything you're doing, especially when you're in the middle of it, to think everything you're doing is terrible and it's going to be awful. But like, you really got to try and remember that like, we're not going to get a chance to do this forever. You're really not.
Why not?
Life, maybe I'm just being negative, but I just feel like
And I only
it takes such an extraordinary amount of time that I
As you
don't
can
know.
see, we're optimists, as you can tell.
So the glass is half empty right now. That's okay.
I think that's the moral of our music.
I would say for half of us, the glass is half empty. And the other half, we try to fill it up
Back
the rest
up.
of the way.
I just
Yeah,
have so
as
many
best as we can.
glasses.
Well,
That's the problem.
all right. It's funny. You guys, I mean, you're obviously, you're young. When you
Ish.
become an old, grizzled veteran musician like me and you've become jaded by the process, it's only then that I think you can really appreciate what you had when you were younger. And what I'm saying by that is, you guys ever heard of the band Mr. Big?
Heard of it enough.
Definitely
for
heard
Billy
of it.
Sheehan is a bass player, and
Okay, yeah, I know Billy Sheehan.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Their lead singer, they got a new album out. It's called Defying Gravity. Their lead singer is a fellow by the name of Eric Martin. And it's called Defying Gravity because gravity is what keeps you down. Keeps you down on Earth, keeps you grounded. Right? It's the right thing, gravity. You don't want weightlessness in the middle of the day at work, right? So you got gravity. Defying gravity would be to get away from that force that keeps you grounded. And so many times people take what you're saying and they kind of put their dreams and hopes to the side a little bit, or their true love.
Yeah.
You know, I graduated high school 400 years ago, and when I did, I really wanted to be a musician. I really wanted to be a full-time musician. I really had no college plans, but I wanted to be a musician. So, of course, I have two parents who are like, well, you know what? If you're not going to be a musician, when you have two, can you believe it?
Yeah.
If you're not going to go to college, you need to get a job. You're not going to be laying around here all summer. Well, I wasn't intending on that, but I was scared to death. It's like, how do you say, Mom and Dad, I want to be a rock star? How do you say, Mom and Dad, I want to be a musician? They would have looked at me and said, great, but you got to have something to fall back on.
Yeah.
And this was the exact story 30-some years later that Eric Martin from Mr. Big is talking about with Defying Gravity.
Yeah.
That the album, because he had the same thing. He says, he said to me, he said, Danny, I was ready to go on tour. I was signed to Epic Records. I'm ready to go on tour, open it up for Bon Jovi, like 1980 something, right? And my father looks at me and he says, you can't lay around on this couch. You need to get a job. He said, Dad, I got a job. I'm a musician. You need to get a real job. You need to get a paycheck every week. He said, Dad, I'm going on tour to Europe in another 2 weeks. What are you talking about? And he said he could never get that.
Yeah.
You never got that respect. He's like, here, my brother's got a job. He said, my brother's like my dad, thinks I still need to get a real job. And he said, there's so many people who have their hopes and dreams kind of dashed because they're taught to do the responsible thing, taught to do the right thing, taught to follow and conform, like you go through life with blinders on.
Yeah.
And I thought, this guy's me, just a couple years older. Because even now, where I'm at with what I'm doing here, I still hear that from my parents. You really need something that can fall back on. Where's this going? What are you doing, man?
I forgot who it was, but there was like a musician that was like doing an interview, like someone like really famous, and he's like, my mom like never wanted me to do this because she didn't think it was good enough until she saw him like on TV at Madison Square Garden. And now she's like finally like, oh, now I get it. Like, like it is like it's a different kind of living, but it is a.
If you're willing to sacrifice,
Yeah.
and you're willing to sacrifice everything, you have to be able to, and you have to keep that mindset. I mean, that's it can come down to relationships. It can come down to family. It can come down to certain things. I'm not telling you if you ever have get married and have kids to put them out of no. But what I'm saying is, if it's your you need to.
It's a different lifestyle.
If there's goals, you're only going to get the opportunity if you continue to follow them. And your dreams and hopes. But if you let people get into your psyche, say, you know what, you really should have something better, because you know what, I want more for you, or you know what, are you going out to the bar to play again? No. But again, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying, when I hear you make statements like that, it thinks to myself, you really have to want it, because otherwise everything that you do up to this point is really just something that's going to be collecting dust in your closet 20 years from now. You can say to your kids, look what I had. We were a band once.
Like, we've had a CD player to play this.
That'll be funny.
Dad, what are you doing on my CD player? Get back on your turntable. So, what influenced you, Ben? I mean, what
musically,
your father, obviously.
Our dad, we've been surrounded by music and playing music ever since I can remember. He had a drum set up in the basement, and he had guitars and pianos and a bass that I eventually took to and then just stole his bass from him, and that's what I played on our first album. Did you live in
a music store?
No,
that's what this is about. That's where your bedroom is.
Our basement was pretty.
It's like hoarding, but like just the music stuff.
Yeah,
but it's okay with instruments and things.
It's okay.
Yeah, but
they have value.
But he was very supportive of kind of
he's still
getting
supportive
us.
Of
He
all
really
of us.
is. He's probably the most supportive person that any of us have in terms of this. I mean, he opens up his house to us and tolerates our noisiness at all hours of the
He's
day.
honestly
Really well.
like the last person
he
that
was
would.
you once.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's still.
But he's like the last. He would be like the last person to
Still
say
us.
like, stop doing this. Like, you need to find a real job. He's like, if you're gonna do it, he's like, you got to do it.
That's, and that was my whole point of that dissertation that I just
Yeah.
laid out there.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it, you go for it until you get tired of going for it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's you know.
No, I don't mean when I say that like this is the last time. Like I don't mean like this is the last time any of us are ever going to make music. I just think that there's an end to all creative endeavors, and who knows if we'll be playing music like with each other. Like somebody could get a kid like a year from now, and like
you're 100% correct.
somebody
Life
could get
does
hit by
get
a
in the
bus.
way, yeah.
Somebody could.
How many times am I gonna have to knock on wood?
You're
for?
not driving
Let me
home
know
with
right
me.
now.
True story. I had a guy on my radio show. Do you know how many people, first of all, I have come through these doors or on my radio program who say, yeah, I put it down for about 20. I had one guy say I put it down for 32 years. My engineer on my radio program is making his first public music appearance this Friday after 35 years. He put it down because life got in the way.
Wow.
Right? So I actually had this guy on my program, and he said to me, he says, you know, life is short. You never know what can happen. I said, yeah. I said, you could walk off the curb, get hit by a bus tomorrow. He goes, yeah, I did.
What else you got?
He got hit by a bus and
Wow.
almost died.
See, I don't understand why people say life is short though, because it's the longest thing you're ever gonna do.
Hey, I mean,
Think about
still
that.
pretty short.
Yeah.
Well, I know
Food for
why they
thought.
say that, because life is short compared to the length of
All
the
time.
universe.
Yeah.
Forever.
That's
There's
right.
that Shin's line. Like, the years have been short, but the
Dinosaurs.
days were long. That like it's like how I feel.
Yeah, that's a good way.
It's like every day feels long,
Well,
but when you
who,
look back, it's like, oh wow, that
yeah.
was so quick.
No, you're right. You were right.
Oh, I didn't write it. The guy from the Shins.
No, but
wrote
like
it.
Mark Twain has that famous quote about the coldest winter I ever spent was that summer in San Francisco. You know, so I don't get. I went when I was in Frisco, it was like 83 degrees every day. I don't know what Mark Twain was talking about. But how about you? What influences you? What made you get into music?
Originally, it definitely had a lot to do with growing up in church and going to youth group. Like, there was a big music scene in the youth group, and like even though like you know the music they played in church is really corny, all the young kids were into like really cool like punk stuff at the time, which was pretty unusual. But as I hear other people's like youth group stories, it seems like that was like a lot of people's.
Well, there is a punk
A lot of
band
people's stories.
named Lamb of God, right?
So it came. I definitely like I knew a bunch of music people who were like in bands and stuff at a pretty young age, right as like the pop punk thing was like happening, I guess in like the late 90s. So that definitely like made me really want to be in a band. But then it took me a while until I was like 15 or 16 to like meet my friend Mark, who was in the first band who I started playing like acoustic shows with. And then after like 17 on-ish, I started actually like taking it seriously and writing songs, and eventually,
10 years later.
this is essentially just just the latest version of the like solo CDs I was doing when I was younger.
Yeah, well, where are you from originally?
Island.
Okay. And you guys are from Woodbridge?
Woodbridge, yeah.
Woodbridge area? How about you, Zach?
What?
What influenced you besides your father? Who's your favorite drummer?
It's a tough one. Honestly, it depends. Like, I grew up, like, I did play, like, the drums. And, like, as, like, a kid in, like, middle school, I'd play, like, again, like, punk rock and, like, pop punk stuff. And I was big into, like, Green Day and, like, Blink-182 and stuff like that. And then, as I got older, and it's exhausting to play that kind of music, so you kind of just, like, branch out into, like, easier things. But, now, honestly, it's anything that's, like, catchy and, like, makes you, like, kind of want to move. Like, I'm like really into now.
Like what?
Animal from the Muppets?
No, like, I don't. You know what the thing is?
like
I
the Muppets,
don't.
he does.
There's certain songs like I like to play, and certain songs I like to listen to, and there's certain songs that you might not think are like really like fun to play on the drums. But that like I don't know. I only like stuff like I only like playing things that I actually enjoy. Now, like I don't just like play things because it's cool to play that part on the drums. Like I do things because like it makes me feel good. Now, honestly, the past like year and a half, I've been like. I haven't like played anything but like our stuff like when we've been doing things, so it was like it was like a hiatus of not listening to anything but what we were working on. So now like my head was kind of lost, and so now I'm like getting like back into liking other music.
Liking other music.
No, it's a great. It's honestly like I'm so much happier right now than I was like
When we were doing
3 months ago.
Yes.
It's like this enormous weight.
Like it's crazy when I
Yeah.
look back and think like, wow, I was really unhappy for a while, for like a year, because when you're in it, it's like, I mean, everybody probably doesn't write like this, but I just get so like
tense.
Angry?
not angry, just like
There are a few
I don't know.
meltdowns
You
we've had.
wanna communicate something. You wanna like make something bigger than yourself. You wanna like reach some new level of understanding about something, and like some days you hit that, and some days you don't. And those days that you don't, you feel like you're wasting your time, like you're.
You know, you can't force it. You
So-
know, you can't force it.
And now that it's over, I get to just
Chill.
think about other things, and this is the best part of the creative experience: is the beginning, where you just like it could be anything. The next thing could be anything.
Yeah.
True.
And just I've been listening to music and enjoying it.
Yeah, that's what. That's honestly
All
that's what I've
different
been doing
kinds.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I've been getting into like a lot of like alternative stuff and like just really poppy things and.
Such
you know,
as?
just, we were just listening to like 21 Pilots and stuff like on the way here, and
Only one of us was in charge of what songs.
my Pandora. I just put on like the alternative thing on my Pandora, and like I've been liking a lot of stuff that comes out of that, like that and Bastille and stuff like that. You know, like because I like music like that sounds. It's so odd, but like when you think it, like that's turning into like the new pop. Like it doesn't have to like have like just straight choruses and verses and like simple like melodies. It doesn't have to be like the same 1-3-5 chords like the whole time. Like it can be like a really weird thing. Like there's like a lot of people now that are writing things that are just not normal, I guess, but it's like becoming the new kind of pop song. So that's it's like pretty cool to like see how like people like interpret that. And some of it's good and some of it's not, but there's a lot of cool things.
This is true. Now remind me to come back to that because I want to ask Tyler the same question. What?
My influences?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I first got into music and knew what it was, like I had like this like Macarena CD, and it was like just the most awkward thing. I was like listening to like this dance CD, but then my parents got me into like the Beatles and like Guns N' Roses and, like,
Because they
Led
got
Zeppelin.
tired of listening to you.
Yeah,
listen to
the
definitely.
Macarena.
I think it was the Macarena like 8 times on the same CD. It was like really just
Straw that broke the camel's
horrible.
back.
Yeah. So then yeah, I got into like hearing like some of like the Beatles and like Elton John and things like that, and then all of a sudden, you know, my brother came home with like tight pants and like all rock and roll and stuff. So then I kind of got into whatever he was doing.
Tight pants.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, no, I
They got into the same pants.
no, actually,
The
he
double leg
gave
it.
me a pair of pants to put on, and I put them on, and my dad walks in. He goes, "No freaking way, man. No freaking way." I was so pissed. So I didn't wear them. Those were like the tight, skinny girl jeans kind of thing. But then I said, you know what? I don't need these tight pants. I'll just play metal guitar, and like that'll do it. So
I'll just go out like Flea.
yeah, so I just like got into
And, like,
some
the
metal
parachute
music, and then like some shredding, like Children of Bodom, and then that progressed into like even heavier stuff like Between the Buried and Me, and then all of a sudden I got into like blues and like John Mayer and stuff like that, and that kind of like evened out my sound a little bit. And all along, the keyboard was pretty much just like a little project I wanted to get better at because I never thought I could be like a good piano player. I picked up the guitar relatively easily, so I was like, oh, this is my thing, this is my calling. But then, you know, after so long, I was like, oh, I guess I can kind of keep up with the piano. So then I started influencing that into my work and making more about the music, like being well-rounded and things like that.
And you play the drums too. He's not a bad
Yeah.
drummer.
Multi-instrumentalist.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
We teach each other things. That's honestly like that's what I like. Like I like we can teach everybody can like kind of teach everybody else something.
Before I came here tonight, I did an interview over the phone with a blues guy by the name of Joe Lewis Walker. Joe's been playing the blues for 50 years, you know.
Mhm.
And he was talking about point of reference.
Okay.
He said how everything is somebody else's point of reference.
Oh, yeah,
You know, he said when he was breaking in, his influences were like Howlin' Wolf and Muddy Waters and B.B. King and Albert King. And, you know, he says, you know, people say to me, you know, you play pretty well, but you're not as good as Stevie Ray Vaughan, and I'm thinking to myself, I taught Stevie Ray Vaughan how to play a couple of them licks. We were in a room together. You know, if you only knew the amount of time I spent with Stevie Ray Vaughan. He said, but it's everybody's point of reference. He says that age was brought up on Stevie Ray Vaughan, and this generation was brought up on. Now it's Joe Bonamassa and Shamika Copeland, and he said, but you know, the blues never leaves. Everybody says the blues is dead or the blues are underground. The blues just keep saving us. We don't save the blues. The blues save us, because we always get a new generation of people that builds different, you know, rock and roll. So, and the main diet of many rock and rollers is pizza.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Mr. Pizza Slice, a Red Bank institution with a new vibe. For over 45 years, Steve operated Mr. Pizza Slice on Monmouth Street in Red Bank. The new owners have 100% kept the original pizza called Steve's Original Pie, as well as the signature Italian hot dog and French fries. New additions include pizzas with various toppings that can be ordered by the slice, hot and cold sandwiches, and smaller appetizer dishes. We have kept a lot of Steve's feeling there at the Mr. Pizza Slice, and the classic video game machines, as well as added delivery services, longer hours, and even Sunday hours. That's Mr. Pizza Slice right here in Red Bank, New Jersey. Slip that right under there. This is where I look like a newsman. Next we'll go to weather. No. So, where do you guys gig? I mean, where's your primary?
Definitely New Brunswick.
Okay.
The most.
The New Brunswick scene?
Yeah.
Court Tavern, et cetera, et
A
cetera?
lot of Court Tavern.
A lot of the Court Tavern.
We played a lot of basements.
Scarlet Pub.
The Scarlet.
Scarlet Pub, we're playing
Caroline.
soon.
Yeah, what do you have coming
what's
up
the
for
date?
gigs?
July 14th. I
Don't quote
believe.
us.
2017.
All about
July
that
14th.
information.
But
is on our
definitely
website.
check our website.
Yes.
Which is?
TheAfraidBrigade.com. Find us
you
on
go.
Yeah.
Facebook. Facebook has all the events too, but
Yeah.
Carolyn's great at the Scarlet Pub. She's really cool.
Yeah, she's such a great booker.
Yeah.
She's one of the
Bookist.
greatest people we've ever worked with. She puts together such great shows.
And she's a very nice person. Like, see, it's like people like that like seriously just keep like the scene alive. Because if she didn't do stuff and like somebody was not as dedicated as her to do shows like that there, then like I don't think they would.
Yeah, you could tell that she's really like into the scene in a way that, I mean, a lot of bookers just book shows so that they can make some cash, but it's, I mean, and do that if you're good at it, but care about music too, and care about the bands that
And
you're
like listen
on.
to the bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That
true
is
too.
that is a huge difference, I think, now as compared to like 15 years ago. 15 years ago, you know, bands were put together with a purpose.
Mhm.
You know, you were on a bill with one other band, maybe. You know, and you were expected to be the draw. Or there was a headline. Now there's no real clear-cut headliners.
No.
You know, you'll be on a show at the Scarlet Pub with how many other bands? You know,
Four.
Or
Yeah.
5 or
Right.
something. Yeah.
because they're going for that angle to make the money, figuring if they have 5 bands and each one brings 10 people, I got 50 people in this place. You know, they're going to spend money. That's where I'm making my money.
Yeah, no,
and you guys get nothing.
It can't be easy to do it though. It cannot be easy to run shows.
My nephew used to book bands at a place at a metal club in Trenton called Champs,
Champs.
Oh, yeah, we
played
played
there a few
there.
times.
and he.
If it's the same place as Championship.
Championship.
Yeah, Championships Bar and
Yeah.
Grill.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, that was Bartolini's. That was like 3 blocks from my house. I could walk there. Bartolini's restaurant and liquor store. You know, there was a bar downstairs, a restaurant upstairs, and a liquor store next to it. You know, now it's a metal club. He got out of it probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago now, maybe longer. And Michelle has taken over, and she does a great job. But she pulls her hair out because the bands that she gets through there just drive her crazy a lot, you know, because of this, that, or the other thing. So it's not an easy thing to do to make the cash, to disperse the cash, to book acts that are going to work with you either. So
No, you got to do it because you love it. Like there's no other way.
we have to support the scene. Now this program and my radio show, Rock on Radio, we are part of Rock New Brunswick this year.
Okay.
And the Making Waves 30th Anniversary Concert Series. So all those shows are going to be taking place. Well, the Making Waves ones are all over the state, but the Rock New Brunswick stuff's mostly going to be in New Brunswick. There's a big show in the park and a couple smaller shows, I think, at like the Court and Squad. I could be wrong, but so we're supporting that scene. You know, a lot of the bands are going to be taking place or taking part in that are going to be coming through these doors between now and September. So, who's the spokesman? Who does the booking?
It's mostly Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's that like? I know what it's like dealing with club owners.
I'm not good at it.
No, I love you.
I need
but
to
you're
get
really
better.
not.
I need to get better. I'm
So
terrible at it.
why do you say you're not good at it? You go in there and say, "We won $500," and they say, "I'll
No,
give you
not even
50."
that. I just need to
We're kind of not people.
find time somehow and put more work into it.
Okay.
Because it
being
is
like a schmoozer is never something that's come.
trying to sell yourself.
normally,
You're not very good at
naturally to
selling
me.
yourself.
Thanks.
I mean, I'm just saying, like you are. Like,
Also, anybody else that is volunteering to do it, like, please.
I tried for a little
This
bit.
is it
I
right
did.
now.
Yeah,
For
but
the
it-
entire world, volunteer.
Put it out on the waves.
But it is a lot of work, especially like if you want to do like shows that are like a little bit bigger and like not just playing like the same places over and over and over. Like it's hard to like publicize yourself, especially like we were doing like everything on our own, and it's
And like my girlfriend Nicole does a lot of the
Yeah,
social
no, she
media.
does.
Does
Nicole's
a lot of the
great.
social media stuff just because I'm always like saying like I'm gonna get to it, and then she just has to do it because I was never really gonna get to it.
or he just asked me to do it. Or
Our girlfriend's great.
Yeah. Yeah, we should give a shout out to all the band girlfriends. They're just
let's not
Sarah?
talk about it.
at least
There we go. There's the cameras. Get in good now. There you go. See.
stare down deeply.
We'll put little hearts in your eyes when we
I'll be
do
fine
the
with
editors. Nash, you can make that happen, right? There you go. Well, one of the hardest things I find about being a musician, you know, there are some gigs I do today for the same money I was making in 1982. You know,
A lot of money or a
and
little money?
it's you know, in 1982 it was a lot of money.
Adjusted for inflation.
Oh, okay.
You know, but a loaf of bread was like 39 cents then too, so, or 59, whatever it was. Gas was under $1 a gallon, I can tell you that.
take
So
that.
I did a gig in Philadelphia one time. It was at Dobbs, at J.C. Dobbs in Philadelphia on South Street. Traffic galore, traffic nightmare. The load in, you have to load in on the side street, which was so small. The wheels of, I have a full size Chevy pickup. It's not doctored. It's just straight stock. Wheel touching the curb here, wheel touching the curb here. They rubbed the curb. My tires were white by the time I got into one way, of course.
Oh yeah, all
one would
the
hope.
back alleys.
Right,
In Philly are
and the
so
load
tiny.
in, thank God I was only doing Latin percussions, it was just a couple conga drums and a bag, but the load in, you had to go through the kitchen of one restaurant to get to Dobbs, and there's a guy in there like cooking, flipping burgers, and it's like walking through the kitchen.
Crossroads. You ever
Yeah,
play
the
Crossroads?
Crossroads.
No, I've never played it.
Oh, you got to go through the.
back, and
It's a
there's
great
a
place.
Oh, you go through
you
the
do
kitchen.
have to go through the kitchen.
I forgot about that. That's fun.
Stuff, yeah.
I felt like Bugs Bunny. Excuse me, pardon me. Excuse me.
Yeah, right.
You know, I'm just, and we get up on stage and we're told if we bring 25 people, then we'll make, you know, half the door plus whatever we make in tips. So we go there, and we had somebody sit next to the door guy. Door guy's unaware, keeping track of the people that we knew were coming in for us and the ones that mentioned the band name.
Yeah.
Well, we had us at 32 people. Dobbs had us at 20. So now they don't want to pay us, and I'm like, wait a minute. You know, plus they validate half our parking.
It's not bad.
So long story short, we knew the sound guy, and he wound up straightening it out. We got the money later. But I go to get out of the parking garage, and the woman's like, that'll be $30. I said, well, here's, you know, I thought I had validated parking. You do? Oh. Why is it $30? Oh, it's only 50% validation. What? It would have cost me $60 to park here on a Saturday night. What are you, nuts?
Wow.
Did I break a window? I just want to get out of the place, you know? So that gig cost me money.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, that.
are
That's
you
awful.
kidding me? And that just happens to us more and more and more. So I've had musicians tell me, you know, you guys got to value yourselves.
Yeah.
You got to value your talent. You know,
Yeah.
put a price tag on yourself. Don't give it away. But the problem is that you have too many bands that'll be like, you
Mm-hmm.
know, somebody will call up, you know, hey, you guys want to play a Stone Pony this weekend? You got to sell 3,000 tickets.
Yeah.
Okay, we're in because it's a Stone
Yeah.
Pony. You sell, you know, you'll sell 2,000 and they'll look at you and say, you were short. You'll never play here, you know.
Yeah.
But yet, you know, we keep chomping at the bit because the places aren't always there, you know. Do you guys have a favorite type of gig you like to play? Is it the bigger ones, the smaller ones?
Bigger the better.
Yeah.
I think it all
It depends on the
a
people.
great,
what friends
a
are.
great,
Yeah,
a great
that's what
room.
Yeah.
A great room is great. I loved like the couple shows we played at Maxwell's because the sound was just awesome.
Oh, up in Hoboken?
And like the
yeah.
sound is always awesome, but like there's nothing like it comes down to the crowd. I would much rather play like a basement full of people than like a
That are
really
into
nice
what
place
you're
with
doing.
like
Yeah.
10 people there. Like I'll go wherever the people are actually going to watch us.
Yeah.
That's
And you can
that's
feel
most
the
important
energy
thing.
in the room.
And it
know,
makes
and
you play so
yeah.
much better when
Yeah.
like you can see people moving and jumping and singing along. Like
Oh yeah,
that
if
just
you're
makes
just
you-
sitting and playing in front of a room full of people, or like 3 people are just leaning against the wall.
or
and
worse, like
nobody's paying
sitting
attention.
sitting people is the
Oh, yeah.
is the hardest
Yeah.
to play. Too.
Oh yeah, we hear crickets, or they just kind of look at you like,
Yeah, sitting and people that are kind of eating if it's a place that serves burgers or something. And
Yeah, that's
people are just kind of eating there, having dinner.
Yeah, any
and-
place that also does
Yeah.
food is kind of awkward to play.
Well, you know, being a Latin percussion guy too
Mm-hmm.
myself, I realize that there's 2 types of gigs. There's the kind where people are going to rock, and then there's
Yeah.
the kind where you're just accompaniment.
Okay,
Yeah.
like Bahama Breeze or something like that.
Right,
Come over
you know.
and bring your drums, you know.
Or you're the piano player just
Yeah.
playing the soft tunes at a cocktail hour.
Uh-huh.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're the background. You're the accompaniment. You're just making
The
noise.
mood music.
You're more like
Yeah.
white noise
Yeah.
at some
Yeah.
point.
yeah.
You know? But at the end of the night, if they're paying you, I
Yeah,
guess.
but those
Yeah.
those gigs are fine, but those gigs better be paying gigs because
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
that you ain't doing for the love of it. That's a job.
Well, and that's exactly it. You know, playing music is a job.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I don't buy this stuff. You know, people say, "Oh, you know, they're not just, you know, playing. They, you know, you've got 17 billion hours of practice, and you know, all the driving and lessons and this and that." And no, that's all part of the game. You know, you don't go into business and say, "Oh, yeah, well, but I paid for inventory." No, you know,
Yeah.
you've got to put that effort into it.
Mhm.
But what you get back is all different. You know, for different. Some people do it just for the money. Some people do it because they want to be rich and famous. Some people do it because I do it for me.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, you do it because you want to go out there and you want to perform. You want people to like what you
Yeah.
did, and you want to get it out there.
It's a hell of a good time
No,
too.
it's definitely
Right, you have
self-realization.
I think that's I don't think we would do this if we weren't having fun doing it. Like, it sounds like kind of just simple to say, but it's like I think once it stops being fun,
Yeah.
Then it's a job.
yeah. But it's like we're obviously not doing this for the money, but it's very rewarding to like see people's reaction to music, like to stuff, like to have like something that we did have an impact on somebody else. Like, that's awesome, because that's how I like records
It's
too.
like fulfilling is what it is.
Yeah.
Because like you really are like giving people a little piece of yourself when you sing. Like, this is
Exactly.
a song I wrote in my basement, like, or in Zach's basement,
Now someone else.
and
is
like
listening to
yeah,
theirs.
like I was feeling a certain way at a certain time in my life, and
Yeah.
that anybody would like care to like pay attention to that is.
It's
you know.
cool.
Are you able to
Doesn't get
write
old.
better when you're happy or sad?
I've thought about this a lot. I can write.
Or
I
angry?
can write. I can write both ways. But what I think it comes down to is I think music just like when you're sad, music is one of the only things that can really make you feel better. So I think I reach for music just as like a way to console myself, and I think most people do. It's not like you can only write when you're sad, but like when you're sad, music is the only thing that's gonna make you feel better. So it's like the only thing you feel like doing. Whereas when you're happy, well, I could watch a movie, I could go to the park, I could do all these
Yeah.
things. Like when you're sad, you just like are reaching for that guitar or that,
Yeah.
just trying to make sense of your own feelings.
What the heck's that saying? That post when you're happy, you listen to music. When you're sad, you understand the lyrics.
Yeah, that's
That's
actually
a great
true.
quote.
That's a really good
That's
one.
a really good quote.
We're gonna
And that's
steal
the
that.
truth. Go ahead. Steal it.
No, that's great.
I hope I quoted it correctly. Like B.B. King said to Tom Petty. You didn't. Tom Petty said, I borrowed that from you. He said, you didn't borrow anything, son. You stole it. So when you're home, Tyler, or you're doing your pool thing, what do you like to listen to? What's on your iPod?
Well, I got Spotify.
Spotify,
This
Pandora.
This week it's been this band Greta Van Fleet has released a couple like an EP, and I think it's like 4 or 5 songs, but they sound exactly like Led Zeppelin, just a little updated, and it's really really cool. The singer, it sounds almost identical to Robert Plant. It's pretty awesome, and I've been listening to that a good amount. Always the Beatles. I'm such a nerd for it, but I love the Beatles.
Okay.
So I probably listen to that every day. Keeps me going. I don't know. I guess it's just like random. I like King Gizzard a lot. They're really experimental and they're kind of strange and funky. I think they're from Australia.
Well, that explains it.
Yeah. But they're cool.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it. Like the last week or two. Yeah.
Okay. Zach?
I don't even know anymore. Like I did, like I don't know. I just.
You can say the 1970s.
I do love the
Tell the
1975.
truth.
I have like guilty pleasures. Like some things I like because it's like musically interesting. Like some things I like because it's like lyrically cool and it's relatable. But I do like the 1975 is just such good. Like they make like it's very like 80s pop. Like kind of like they said like if
Part
John
of that new song you
Hughes.
played today was better than other.
There you
tunes
go.
I've heard of from them.
But like it's like a John Hughes movie. Like if like he did like the record, like they wanted to do like very 80s, and I love it. It's like very simple pop stuff that I don't want to.
So you're a big Tiffany fan? Is that what you're telling me?
I don't know. I love everything.
Actually, Tiffany, besides being like a really cool person,
Mm-hmm.
she can sing. You know, everybody knows her as this 14-year-old kid who went on this mall tour redoing a Tommy James and
Yeah.
Shondel's tune, you know, but she can actually sing very well.
Have you seen the documentary?
About?
I Think We're Alone Now?
No, I have not, actually.
Dude, it's so crazy, and it's such a good documentary.
Joe's seen every documentary.
It's about this person who was in a coma. It's about 2 people, but I don't really remember so much about the one person. But it's about these 2 very special individuals who are obsessed with Tiffany, and I'm pretty sure she has like a restraining order against one, if not both of them.
Is that like that guy
And
Jodie Foster?
Nope, that guy
This
tried to kill
person
her
was
own
in a
lady.
coma, and they think that Tiffany spoke to them while they were in it, and like woke them up. And ever since they've been obsessed with her, and
Is
it's
this
just
on-
about their lives. And it used to be on Netflix like years ago, but it is such a crazy and like
Hospital.
What's it
crazy
called?
interesting documentary. It's called I Think We're Alone Now.
Excuse me. She was at the
Should
Wonder
watch it.
Bar last summer.
Really?
Actually, Tiffany played at the Wonder Bar, yeah. And,
The person she has a restraining order was probably there too.
there's quite a quick, maybe. And you?
Lately, just a couple days ago, I found this new band, Creeper, and I'm obsessed with them. They're really, really good, and they just have such a cool aesthetic. I love bands with like who bring a sense of storytelling and who bring like a look, like so you don't just hear the music. You can like you get an idea of like
They
an
paint
image.
pictures? with
Yeah,
their lyric?
like an image. So like they do like seemingly like corny pop punk stuff, but like there's something about the guy's voice that just makes you seem like it's not a pop punk voice. He's doing like a big like rock and roll voice, and
Yeah.
it's like it just makes it seem like he knows what he's doing, and it's like it's just so great. It seems kind of I don't know what the word for it is. Meta is it? But
Yeah.
they're very aware of what they're doing, and
It's
like,
very
having a lot of-
self-aware,
having a lot of
self-aware.
fun with it, with like the pop punk rock and roll image, and like they're just such a great band. I
Okay.
love them.
What about you, Ben?
Lately, the last couple weeks, last couple months, I've been listening to a lot of Snarky Puppy, like a jazz fusion band that
Okay.
they're insane. I just don't know how else to describe it. They have a lot of videos on YouTube that have their songs, and they play them live, and it's
Yeah, if you listen to them, you
Yeah.
have to watch the videos. 'cause
Yeah,
it's
watching
so
it.
cool to watch.
when you see them play this stuff, it's
Yeah.
just, and you're like, oh, this is a 10-minute long song, and there are 18 people in this band playing all of their parts flawlessly, doing 5-minute keyboard solos that are just, out of this world, and they're just their album "We Like It Here" is probably their best, and I hope to hear more from them like that. But I also like Pat Metheny. I really like Pat Metheny.
Nice.
And Lyle Mays, his stuff with Lyle Mays is just great. But yeah, but I like to listen to indie stuff too. You know, like the rest of them, and John Mayer and King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Yeah, that's
They're
the
good.
full name.
I got him to listen to them.
Yeah, no, they are good.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. We have come to the point where you're going to perform for us now.
I forgot we have to do
All right, well, we definitely have to say happy birthday, Danny.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Yeah,
it is this
birthday.
guy's
Thank you very
birthday.
much. Yes, today is my birthday.
And we are very honored
Hey,
that you're
to that.
taking time out of your
Cheers to that.
schedule
Nothing left
to
but cheers.
listen
Well,
to us.
I am
jabber.
honored that you guys came down and made the trip down here to Red Bank to sit with me for a while. So.
Yeah, that's
But it's a
great.
beautiful street, beautiful town.
You know what? Red Bank has really made great strides. So we're going to talk about Monmouth music. Oh, there I am. Okay. I'm going to sneak over there,
Yeah.
take my microphone, and you guys are going to get yourself set to perform.
Wunderbar.
And I push that in there. There we go. I don't know if this is going to make it because your leg of the chair is there, but we'll go that way. There we go. I think we've got one more. All right. We're going to stay back here a little bit, Tom. We all right there? Can see it? Good. Established in 1987, Monmouth Music is located in the center of historic Red Bank, New Jersey. Voted third best town in the United States by Smithsonian Magazine. Located within walking distance of the famed Count Basie Theater, Red Bank train station, and many fine eateries, Monmouth Music continues the tradition of being a destination store for all levels of musicians, both beginner through professional. The new owner, Mario DiBartolo, a lifelong musician, offers a wide selection of brand name instruments at everyday low prices, both new and used, with personal, professional, and expert service only a family-owned and operated store can provide. Does the neck on your guitar or banjo need repairing? Do the valves on your saxophone need to be refitted? Regardless of what day it is, bring your instrument to Monmouth Music for quality repairs. You'll enjoy prompt service from a team of repairmen who are always available. They have Bob Pinto's Guitar Hospital in the background, and we have the BP Electronics Amplifier service out front here. And we would like to thank Mario, as we do every week, for allowing us to invade his store every Monday. Come on down and check out Mario here at Monmouth Music. And if you do, make sure you mention One More with Danny Coleman, because Mario will know that you're paying attention. Are you fellas ready over there? Just about?
Yeah, about.
Okay. Well, I don't want to take up too much time. You're going to come sit with me now. Okay. So, Nash, we ready to go?
Ready to go?
We're ready to go. All right, I'm going to go back over there. I'm going to put this microphone down, and I'm going to give you fellas and ladies out there watching, Be Afraid Brigade.
It was early in the evening, autumn sun sinking past the trees. All of the ghosts and goblins kissed their moms and flowed out into the street. And it was out there that I saw her underneath the street light. There we go, shadows of the scars that twisted around her neck as the air became so cold. In the morning I hide, in the evening I rise, holding out your hand, pulling me apart. Would you break my heart in the dark? It was later in the evening, all the town scouring the ground, autumn glowing with the ghastly light, but I would not be found. Fill my eyes with your excitement, still my heart, vicious dread. All of the ones and leaves our lives as we're walking with the dead. In the morning I hide, in the evening I rise, holding out your hand, Would you break my heart? Oh, give me your love. I'll take you apart. I wanna break your heart. And when the dead rise,
We don't scare.
and when the stars fall,
We don't care.
and when the moon skies,
We keep on
singing along. And when the bomb drops, and when you're
we
tough,
don't care.
give me all you got. Give me all you got. Bum, bum.
See the pamphlets over there.
I miss the rain sometimes when I'm alone and dry. But if a life could be as perfect as an hour with no need for sunlight, I drove 100 miles to house a few of friends. I was overflowing with inside jokes, but you smiling at me instead. She said, you only get so far before you fall, and I'm falling farthest. This time gets me between the bars. I'll be fine. I'll help you count the stars tonight before you go back to sleep. La 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 la. La 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 la. Let's talk of running away, a never-ending escape. And everywhere we flee, grows green grass, we made it background. And there's nothing new to see. I miss the clouds sometimes when everything's gone quiet, and all that's left is the soft reassurance that the world waits for nothing else.
Grab my hands and move your feet.
You only get so far before you fall, and I'm falling farthest. This time is me between the bars. I'll be fine. I'll help you count the stars tonight before you go back to sleep. La 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 la. There are far cries in the darkness of the night, calling out why parades get rained out every time.
Why the sun don't ever shine.
God's mysterious gears wind so slowly. We belong here beneath the cracked and bleeding sky. Farewell, so long, dear. Wipe your tears and dry your eyes.
Love me only for tonight.
There's a world that's passing by. Please show me love like this. Fatal bliss. I'm in hell. You don't even know me. Awful hurt. Nothing works. Make that smile. Baby, you don't know me. There are bright lights from the fires and the bombs. There is music echoing from the car alarms. Thunder's drumming as the curtains rise slow. But I have long learned what's fair and true. Always should change and never get you do. And nobody's left to fill the pews. Everybody's starring in their own show. Love like this, fatal bliss. I'm in hell, you don't even know me. Awful hurt, nothing works. Fake that smile, baby, you don't know me. Love like this, more to give. Take your time, falling at your own speed to the stage. Shut up and play, fake that smile. Someday soon I won't need anything. Thanks a lot, guys.
I'm going to step back here. And I will do this. I'll do this from back here, Nash. We have one more since I can't seem to get around there. Oh. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Danny. Happy birthday to you.
Home, the cake says, one more birthday.
Yeah! Why, thank you very much. Here, let me blow out the candle.
Before we burn Mario's
Beautiful, before Mario's smoke alarms go off. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, staff and everybody, for tuning in, and you guys for coming out and making the effort here this evening for us. The Afraid Brigade, your next gig is where?
July 14th at Scarlet Pub.
Scarlet Pub, New Brunswick, July 14th.
Really pretty short.
He's laughing, like smiling like the cat that ate the canary back there. That's July 14th. Next week's guest is still up in the air, but we will let you know who will be on One More with Danny Coleman, because we will be posting a link soon. So tune in next week and have one more. Thanks, fellas. Good night.